Welcome to the Deep Dive. Tonight you're joining us as we plunge into a concept that really grabs you by the imagination. Maybe gives a little shiver down your spine.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of a hidden, non-human network intertwined with our own digital world, the so-called alien internet.
It's a fascinating one. It taps right into that, that mix of wonder about what's out there and our complete reliance on all this tech we use every day.
Exactly, that combination of the unknown cosmos and the very known, very present internet.
And it's compelling, isn't it? We build this massive digital web connecting ourselves, but space is still this huge mystery. The idea they might somehow be linked secretly.
It hits both that desire for connection and maybe a bit of that primal fear.
For sure.
So when you dig into this alien internet idea, the discussions you find online in those more speculative corners, they usually boil down to two main concepts.
Right. What are they?
First, there's this idea of a network just for aliens, basically. Like their own internet spanning across the stars, used for interstellar communication.
Okay. A galactic internet. Makes sense, conceptually at least.
And the second one, which feels, I don't know, a bit closer to home, maybe more unsettling, is that there's a hidden layer, like within our own internet. Either aliens put it there, or they've sort of co-opted our infrastructure somehow.
Wow, okay. So they're piggybacking on our system, potentially without us knowing.
That's the theory. So for this deep dive, we're going to unpack these ideas. We'll look at the evidence people point to and try to understand the assumptions, the implications.
Yeah, what's really underpinning this whole fascinating and maybe, like you said, unsettling theory. We've got some interesting material here to sort through.
Definitely. Where should we start? To really understand the alien internet idea, you probably need the context of, the official search, right?
Absolutely. You have to start with SETI. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence. That's the scientific backdrop.
Okay, SETI. So this is the established science, the effort to find signals, specifically electromagnetic signals, that might come from intelligent life out there.
Exactly. Scientists listening, basically. Using radio telescopes, other instruments, trying to catch that, I don't know, technological hello from another civilization.
But the scale, the distances involved are just mind-boggling.
Immense, almost beyond comprehension.
Okay.
And that's the core challenge for interstellar communication, right? Getting a signal across those vast cosmic gulfs.
Yeah, our own signals fade out pretty fast, relatively speaking. So what kind of power, what kind of tech would they need?
That's a critical question, which is why SETI scientists aren't just listening for random static. They're looking for very specific things.
Okay, like what?
Technological signatures, they call them. Patterns or features in the signals that shouldn't occur naturally.
So something ordered, complex, not just cosmic noise.
Precisely. A signal with a really clear structure. Maybe it repeats in a non-random way, or it's packed into a very, very narrow frequency band. Stuff that screams artificial.
Got it. They want proof it was made, not just background radiation. But the alien internet theory, it takes that SETI premise and kind of runs with it in a different direction, doesn't it?
It really does. SETI is the search. The conspiracy theory says the search is over, or at least that something has been found and maybe there's already communication happening.
Right, so it builds on SETI, but then suggests the secret.
Exactly. The core claims are usually, 1, contact has been made, signals received, but it's all hush-hush.
Kept secret. Okay.
2, there's a hidden network carrying this alien traffic.
The alien internet itself.
3, you and I, we can't just log on. Access is restricted.
Makes sense if it's secret.
And 4, the really wild part. Actual information, maybe advanced technology, maybe even consciousness, is being exchanged through this network.
Whoa, okay, that's a big leap from detecting a structured radio signal.
A huge leap, which brings us to the crucial point. What evidence do people actually cite for this? And we need to be clear up front. Scientifically speaking, this evidence is, let's just say highly questionable.
Right. We're definitely moving out of hard science and into speculation and interpretation. So what kinds of things get pointed to?
Well, one big category is just unexplained signals, radio anomalies, other weird electromagnetic stuff that doesn't have an easy explanation.
Stuff SETI might have picked up or other observatories. That just seems odd.
Exactly. And proponents of the alien internet might say, see, that's them. That's the network. Science just hasn't admitted it or figured it out.
You can see the appeal. An unexplained blip becomes potential proof if you're looking for it. What else?
Then there are claims about encountering strange code. like really bizarre, undecipherable sequences of characters found maybe deep in the web, or theories about messages hidden in software.
Hidden messages. Okay, that sounds very sci-fi.
It does. The argument is usually that this code is just too complex, too alien to be human-made.
But code can be incredibly complex anyway, right? It's easy to see something you don't understand and think it's extraordinary.
Precisely. And that ties into the next bit, advanced technology. The idea that some tech we see, or maybe tech that's only rumored to exist, is just so advanced.
It must have come from off-world.
That's the inference. That it's alien tech, maybe reverse engineered, maybe directly given and perhaps used for this secret communication.
So we might have tech from them used for this network, and I bet government secrecy is a big part of this narrative too.
Oh, absolutely. It's a cornerstone. The claim is governments, or shadowy parts of them, know about this network. They know about the aliens.
But they're hiding it. Why?
Various reasons are suggested to control the information, maybe weaponize the tech, prevent panic. The usual conspiracy theory motives.
Right. And does this theory connect to other fringe ideas?
Often, yeah. You see attempts to link the alien internet to UFO sightings, government cover-ups about crashes, ancient astronauts, even paranormal stuff sometimes.
Try to build a bigger picture of the unexplained.
Exactly. Like the alien internet is a key piece in a larger puzzle of hidden reality.
Okay, so that's the kind of shaky evidence people point to. What about the network itself? If it exists, according to the theory, what's it actually like?
Well, the ideas there are pretty diverse, too. It really shows how speculative this all is. One main concept, as we said, is a network spanning interstellar distances.
Across the stars, which immediately brings back that problem of, well, speed. How do you network across light years?
Right. Sending a signal to the nearest star takes over 4 years, not exactly broadband speed.
So how do the theories get around that?
That's where things get exotic. One popular idea involves quantum entanglement.
The spooky action at a distance.
Exactly. The idea that entangled particles remain connected instantaneously no matter the distance. If you could somehow use that for communication.
You could bypass the speed of light, theoretically.
Theoretically is the key word. We're nowhere near doing that reliably for complex information transfer. It's deep into theoretical physics territory.
So it's a potential loophole in physics that the theory latches onto. Any other exotic ideas?
Another one is communication through higher dimensions. The idea that our 3D space plus time isn't the whole story.
Like string theory or something?
Sort of. The speculation is that maybe communication can happen faster or bypass distance by going through these other dimensions. Again, highly theoretical, zero proof.
Really pushing the boundaries there.
Yeah.
Are there any slightly more grounded ideas about the network?
Well, grounded is relative here, but there's the idea we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
A hidden layer within our internet.
Right, piggybacking on our infrastructure.
Yeah. The suggestion is that aliens either built something into our systems way back, or they've found clever ways to use the existing pathways, the protocols, without us noticing, like a shadow network running in parallel.
That's a creepy thought, like there's this whole other layer of traffic humming along beneath the surface of what we see.
It is unsettling. Which naturally leads to the next question. If this thing exists, why? What's the purpose?
What are the aliens supposedly doing with this network?
And again, the theories cover a lot of ground, from, potentially good to potentially very bad.
Okay, let's hear the range. What's the optimistic view?
The optimistic end is something like a cosmic library, a way for civilizations across the galaxy to share knowledge, history, science, an intergalactic Wikipedia, almost.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. A universal knowledge exchange.
It's a nice thought, isn't it? But then there are the less warm and fuzzy ideas.
I figured. Like what?
Well, simple observation. Monitoring. Maybe the alien internet is just their way to keep tabs on developing species like us, watch our progress or screw-ups.
From a safe distance. Like cosmic anthropologists.
Something like that, which raises questions, Is it purely passive observation, or is there an agenda?
You mentioned technological transfer earlier.
Right, but maybe not for everyone. The theory sometimes suggests this network is used to pass advanced tech or information to specific groups or individuals on Earth.
So feeding into those ideas about secret societies or hidden elites, getting alien help.
Exactly. Creates power imbalances, secret knowledge, all that stuff.
And the darkest interpretation.
Control and manipulation, the idea that this network could be used to influence us, maybe through subliminal messages hidden in data streams, subtly shaping our thoughts, our culture, our politics.
Without us even realizing it. Wow. That's definitely playing on fears of unseen control.
It's the most dystopian view, for sure. But, okay, we've laid out the theories, the alleged evidence, the supposed network, and its purposes. Now we really need to bring in the critical perspective.
Absolutely. Time for a reality check. While it's a mind-bending concept, how does the alien internet theory hold up against, well, science and reason?
Not very well, frankly. The biggest, most fundamental problem is what we mentioned before. There's just no verifiable, repeatable scientific evidence. Period.
No smoking gun, no data point that can't be explained any other way.
Exactly. It's all anecdotes, interpretations, connecting dots that might not actually connect. And those unexplained signals we talked about, many, if not most, eventually do get explained. They turn out to be distant pulsars or interference from a microwave oven down the hall from the telescope, or satellites, or just errors in the equipment.
Right. Finding the mundane explanation often just takes time and more investigation.
It's a complex process to rule everything else out.
Yeah.
And the tech needed, the quantum entanglement communication, the higher dimension.
Still science fiction, basically.
Pretty much. The physics is either purely theoretical, or our understanding is way too primitive to even know if it's possible, let alone engineer it. We're talking about leaps far beyond our current capabilities.
So the proposed mechanisms are extremely speculative. What about the strange code people claim to find?
Well, the human brain is an amazing pattern recognition machine. Too amazing sometimes.
Meaning we see patterns even in random noise.
Precisely. Apophenia, patternicity, whatever you call it. We're wired to find meaning. So, faced with complex data or random sequences, especially if you're looking for something hidden, it's easy to convince yourself you've found a deliberate alien message.
When it could just be random data or complex human-made code you don't understand.
Exactly. So the whole alien internet theory, while it makes for great fiction and interesting thought experiments, it really seems to rest on, let's call it shaky ground.
Questionable evidence. Massive scientific hurdles.
That's a fair summary. It seems to thrive in that gap between what we know and the vastness of what we don't know about the universe.
Fueled by that enduring fascination with aliens and maybe some anxiety about our own complicated, sometimes mysterious technology.
Yeah, maybe it says more about us, our hopes, our fears about tech, our place in the cosmos than it does about actual aliens building networks.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we've explored these core ideas. The hidden network, interstellar comms, the secret layer in our net. We've looked at the so-called evidence, the wild ideas about entanglement and dimensions, the possible purposes from libraries to control.
But it's crucial to remember this is all deep in the realm of speculation. There's no solid science behind it right now.
It really highlights how we try to make sense of the unknown, doesn't it? Sometimes with extraordinary explanations.
And our own digital interconnectedness. It creates this feeling that maybe there are hidden layers, hidden conversations happening just beyond our perception. It fuels the imagination even if the evidence isn't there.
It definitely makes you think, though. In this world awash with information and misinformation, how do we sort fact from fiction? How do we evaluate these kinds of extraordinary claims?
That's the ongoing challenge, isn't it?
And it prompts a final thought for you, listening. As our own digital world gets ever more complex and integrated, what other hidden realities, you might wonder, could we imagine lurking just beneath the surface?
A very compelling question to leave us with.